See, American Werewolf in London is not a comedy. It's called a comedy. They keep calling it a comedy. It's very funny, I hope. It is not a comedy. We meet these two boys in a truckload of sheep. This is not subtle. You know, these boys are dead at the end of the movie. This is not a happy story. This is a horror film, and a pretty classic and traditional one. If anything, Werewolf is a throwback. I mean, I was trying to make a contemporary version of an old movie. I wrote American Werewolf in London in 1969 when I was in Yugoslavia on Kelly, the former Yugoslavia, on Kelly's Heroes. And I don't know, there was a kind of deliriousness to us guys in Yugoslavia. I was with, Clint Eastwood, Telly Savalas, Don Rickles, Harry Dean Stanton. It was the wildest group of people. It was inspired directly by something I witnessed. I was being driven from Umag to Novi Sad. They had this one-lane street, highway that went 400 miles. This guy named Sasha, who was a Yugoslav, who I'm sure is in the War Trials Tribunal now, but he was a driver, very nasty guy, but he spoke perfect English. And he and I were being driven down this road, and we stop. What's going on? We get out, and there were gypsies, and again, I grew up in LA. I mean, for me, it's all the back lot. We get out, there are gypsies, and it's like, they're dress extras. They have babushkas. They look like Maria Usmanskaya. They got the jewelry. They're completely dressed. It's like, hey, wardrobe did a great job with these gypsies, So you felt like you were on another planet. You really were removed. It was a crossroads, and they were burying this man. It was a dead guy, wrapped with a canvas, and the canvas was wrapped with garlands of garlic and rosaries.
For 1,000 years, we gypsies have buried our dead like that.
And they're burying this guy feet first, and deep, and it's a burial, and it's some kind of ritual thing.
I couldn't break the custom, even if I wanted to.
He's being buried this way so he doesn't get up and cause mischief. And so I'm going, hello? What you mean get up like a zombie? Get up like what? And Sasha's going, yeah, he thought it was hysterical. There were about 40 people doing this thing. So we stood there for like 45 minutes watching this thing, and Sasha, meanwhile, has just pissed himself. He's laughing so hard. He thought it was the funniest thing. And I kept thinking, what if he did get up? We drive away, we go to bed. That night, crane in on the thing like that, and the fingers break the surface of the earth. All these classic EC images. And he gets up. And he's going, Sasha, something, and he comes, The point is that Sasha and I would be totally, not only ill-equipped, but unequipped to deal with the living dead.
Can I have a piece of toast?
Because it's not only out of our experience, it's horse shit. So, when the man's standing in front of you going, like this, you're going, excuse me, and you're making jokes or whatever it is, because it's clearly not real.
Has it occurred to you that it might be unsettling to see you rise from the grave to visit me?
Sorry to be upsetting you, David, but I had to come.
Aren't you supposed to be buried someplace in New York?
Yeah.
There's Rick working on Griffin Dunn, which was an extremely innovative makeup.
Have you ever talked to a corpse? It's boring.
It gave the impression that there was chunks carved out of his neck and face. It was quite a sophisticated makeup of the time.
Take your life, David. Kill yourself before you kill others.
So I wrote it in '69. It actually got me a lot of jobs, that script, because it was very, very funny.
Excuse me.
A naked American man stole my balloon.
And it was also very, very scary. But the unanimous response was either this is too funny to be scary or this is too scary to be funny. It was just inconceivable to people that you could be both.
Oh, no. Please don't wear that.
What's the matter?
I know you'll think I'm crazy, but in a half an hour, the moon will rise and I'll turn into a wolf.
You and 20 million other guys.
Listen, I might tear you limb from limb.
Is that serious?
I just felt, of course it could be done.
Ah! You're not real. Oh, don't be a putz, David.
I took great pleasure in going to see it in theaters because I knew when the big scares were.
You really scared me, you shithead.
You gonna help me up or what?
But my intention was that all the violence should be very realistic. In fact, the first killing, Jack's death on the moors, I wanted it to be as real and horrific as possible. It's extremely unpleasant. And what he's saying is very realistic. He's, you know, he really is screaming in pain and fear.
Jack.
What I was trying to accomplish with American Werewolf was to make it as realistic as possible, to make it like this fantastic and essentially ridiculous thing is really happening to him, that he will go through a metamorphosis and become something other, become a beast, a wolf. In Werewolf, he's afraid he's losing his mind. And so his dreams have to relate to his own experience, which is why he thinks of his family, where it's safe. And because he's a Jewish American kid who grew up, you know, he was my age at that time, you know, so he grew up with images of the Nazis.
All right already.
This is directly influenced by Buñuel. There's a film, Discreet Charm of the Bourgeoisie, which is one of my favorite movies, where people keep waking up. So by the middle of the movie, you're so confused of whose reality is what. You know, it's like Pirandello. It's like, what the hell is going on? You know, but dreams within dreams within dreams.
Hello. Have you been up long?
I've just had a nightmare.
Not to worry, I've just the thing.
Holy shit.
I had, when I wrote it, the idea that I would show the transformation with no cutaways, all on camera. I didn't know how I'd do it, but I intended it in bright, harsh light, you know, and I even had the music picked out then. I wanted Blue Moon.
You saw me standing alone.
Jesus Christ!
I knew that I had to come up with something clever. Now, I wrote it in '69, so in '71, I'm now making schlock with Rick Baker. And I said to Rick, here, read this script and tell me how you solve this problem, because I want to see the skull change. And the big thing, I wanted it to be painful. Because if your hand goes from, you know, this to a paw, you know, I really wanted it to be painful. I mean, because the human form, you know, it's weird. You know, I wanted the skull to elongate, just the cracking of the bones, and just make it horrific. You know, essentially, it's an erection metaphor.
God! I'm burning up!
Well, a lot of it has to do with adolescence. You know, I mean, I remember the whole thing of metamorphosis. You know, when your body is changing, that's what puberty is about. You know, you're getting hairy. I mean, all of a sudden, your dick's getting hard. I mean, these weird things are happening to you. And you're hungry, and you're horny, and your hormones are raging.
You heard me sing a prayer for someone I really...
What I was proposing for Rick is the worst possible thing you can do a makeup artist, which is no cutaways, and harsh, bright, fluorescent light. I mean, there's no way for him to trick you. You know, it has to happen on camera.
Then suddenly there appeared before me the only Then I heard somebody whisper, please adore me. And when I looked, the moon had turned to gold. Help me!
I want to see the ribs in his back, his spine arched. You had to believe it was painful. You had to share his physical agony. There are moments when I bet you think it's a puppet when it's actually the actor, and moments when it's the actor and you probably think it's a puppet. I probably showed it too much. I was very enamored with it. The Ultimate Wolf, I think you see it too much in the movie now, but at the time I thought it was so cool. You know, the most successful shot of the werewolf in the film is in the tube station when it's pursuing this guy.
Good Lord.
And he falls on the escalator, and there's a high shot down the escalator, and the wolf comes into the shot, and you see how big it is, and it's from quite a distance. So it's the best kind of shot because you see it, but you don't see it. My favorite shot in the movie of this, which I was taken aback when I saw it on the transfer, was the Bobby goes into the cinema with his torch, and he looks, and the wolf sort of looks up at him. And there's this disemboweled man there, and he looked pretty scary there. Here's Rick using the werewolf about to bite off the inspector's head in Piccadilly Circus. Camera would cut this part off. We were making an American Werewolf in London, obviously, and we just wrapped when the Brixton riots happened. And I remember that Margaret Thatcher blamed it on youthful hooligans, and race was not an issue. I just remember, that's right, Maggie.
Sean, those hooligans are in the park again.
I love the idea of youthful hooligans. It's like crazed hooligans. The Wolfman, you know, as conceived by Kurt Siodmak, you know, he's a tragic figure. It's sad. And it's so interesting because he becomes something other that kills.
Did you ever see The Wolfman?
Is that the one with Oliver Reed?
No, the old one.
I don't think so.
Bela Lugosi bites Lon Chaney Jr. and he turns into a werewolf.
Why are you telling me this?
No, listen. Claude Rains is Lon Chaney's father, and he ends up killing him.
So?
Well, I think that A werewolf can only be killed by someone who loves him.
The way you walked was thorny, through no fault of your own. But as the rain enters the soil, the river enters the sea. So tears ran to a predestined end. Your suffering is over. Now you will find peace for eternity.
And you have to realize, I mean, this guy, Larry Talbot, he's one of, for me, this Kurt Sielmach's character, he's one of the great tragic figures. The Wolfman is so sad. You know, he's a guy, he has cancer. Only instead of killing him, he's killing everybody. You know, he spends all 4 movies trying to kill himself.
I could hang myself.
No. No, if you did it wrong, it could be painful. You'd choke to death.
So what? Let him choke.
Do you mind? The man's a friend of mine.
Well, he ain't no friend to me.
Gentlemen, please. The gun! I know where you can get a gun.
Don't I need a silver bullet or something?
Oh, be serious, would you?
Madness.
Oh, a gun would be good.
Yes, you just put the gun to your forehead and pull the trigger.
But if you put it in your mouth, you'd be sure not to miss.
Ultimately, the poor werewolf, he's such a schmuck, you know. I mean, there's a wonderful joke, okay? This, to me, defines the werewolf. There's a husband and wife are having an argument in Los Angeles. And finally she says, I'm not arguing with any of you. Forget it. The argument's over. He says, what do you mean? She goes, it's useless, it's pathetic, it's a waste of time. He goes, oh, yeah? She goes, yeah. And you know why? He says, why? She says, because you're a schmuck. He goes, I'm a schmuck. She says, no, you're not a schmuck. You are the schmuck. If the city of Los Angeles needed an official schmuck, you know, to represent the city in a statewide, if California needed the California state, wait a minute, if the United States needed an American schmuck, if there was a U.S. schmuck to represent it at the International Schmuck Olympics, if the world needed a schmuck, if there was a competition for schmuck of the world, you would get second place. He says, well, why would I get second place? She says, because you're a schmuck. And that's what I feel about the Wolfman. The guy cannot win.
Aren't you gonna say I told you so?
If I were still alive, I probably would. But I did tell you so, you schmuck.